One night I was researching and trying to find a good new survival horror game to cover on the channel. I searched and I searched for anything new that didn't look like PT or Outlast, but I couldn't find what I was looking for. So I decided to embrace the new wave of so-called survival horror games that are releasing today. Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran and welcome back to a new survival horror, and today we're going to be doing a Halloween special. So instead of just doing one game, we're going to be covering 5 upcoming games, or games that are already out, that are survival horror. As in, that's what the devs are going to be calling it. They give the tag survival horror. So we're going to be covering it, and we're going to be doing it, so yeah. But be warned, if you're an old school survival horror fan, if you love that fixed camera angle, third person, like limited ammo, you have to walk around, unlock things, do puzzles and stuff. Basically, if you're a classic Resident Evil or Silent Hill fan, you might not like what you see here. There's a reason why I didn't do individual videos on these games, and that is because they are not traditional survival horror games, so that's why I'm going to be doing this video, because this isn't going to be a traditional video, so yeah. But I'm excited, and let's get into the first title of tonight. Inflection, or, you know, PT2 for short, because it's basically, alright, let's just be real here with each other, it is basically PT. Inflection follows an unnamed protagonist as they wander through the remnants of a once happy family home. What's cool about this game is the atmosphere, and the same can be said about any other game that's also like Inflection. You have to give this PT clone props for 1, actually coming out, and 2, releasing as a full game and not in early access. Because many games, actually, not many games, actually yes, many games of PT clones, you always see the trailer for them and they never come out. I've seen many titles that were announced back in like 2015, 2016 and there's been nothing said on them, and that was it. And also the other game, a great PT clone that came out, Visage, that is in early access, and you can only play the first 2 hours in that game, so Inflection, well done, you actually came out. Gameplay wise, it mostly involves just walking around and exploring this realistic looking house, and finding clues as to what happened to the place. These clues ranges from like reading letters and journals to listening to audio recordings. The game also appears to have like multiple antagonist characters in our game, one being a spooky ghost lady of course, because every PT clone, they follow bullet points, and one of those bullet points, one of the key bullet points, is a spooky ghost lady. Of course, there needs to be one. And then there's another character, it's like a fat chef that actually reminds me of a character from Little Nightmares. I know I make fun of this game being a PT clone and everything, but at the same time, Inflection looks like it introduces a lot of unique elements and story details that looks like it's told more visually than actually reading letters or anything like that, or in cutscenes. So if you're on the hunt for a nice wee spooky game for Halloween night, you can pick up Inflection on Steam right now for only 15 quid, which is actually not bad because the game rounds up to about 2-3 hours long, I think. So yeah, the game is cool, the game is very spooky, and to be honest, like these kind of style horror games, they shouldn't be dragging on for that long. Like 5 hours I would say is the max for them, because if you have a 10-hour horror game like this, you're going to get bored very quickly. And with that said, let's get on to the next title. Kings of Lorne, The Fall of Ibris, or just Lorne as it was originally titled, is a very cool looking survival horror game that actually reminds me a bit of Eternal Darkness. If you haven't checked that out, Eternal Darkness is a GameCube survival horror game that came out way back in the day. The story follows multiple protagonists as they journey through the once lovely land of Lunaris, which has now mostly been destroyed by an ancient plague brought about by the land's own king. So basically the game is about population control. Gulbrand, the king of Lunaris, sacrificed his own kingdom to achieve immortality. Now as a member of Ibris, a group sworn to protect all of the realms, you must take back the catalyst from the king. The game looks sick and interesting, to be honest, which I'm surprised by, because when I first saw this game I was like, this is basically Agony but in medieval times. I assure you this is what this game is going to be, and that is what I originally thought. But the game really isn't, to be honest. Lorne has combat as well to help you fight back against the monsters you encounter with swords and hatchets. And I think I seen a bow at one point. Could be lying. But then it's set in medieval times, so there's probably going to be a crossbow in there somewhere. Kings of Lorne looks very promising with the atmosphere, story, and the world in general. The game is expected to be out in 2018, and to be honest, do you know what? To be honest, it is probably going to be coming out in late 2019, because every time I see games like this, and like I was saying back there with the whole PT clone thing, a bunch of those games are like, oh yes, to be announced 2018. And guess what? It is nearly November, and guess where they are? Nowhere to be seen. There is no confirmation on anything. There is no details whatsoever. And so, yeah, S.O.N has been getting like trailers and updates and all that, so the game might come out. They might do like a surprise thing. It's like, by the way, the game's coming out in 5 days. And I'm like, oh, cool. I might play it. I don't know. I'll see if I get around to it, because there's a bunch of games coming out this fall which I really want to play. So, yeah. But aye, Kings of S.O.N, go check it out. You can go on Steam as well. You can just check out the page and get the trailers and all that. It does look like a very interesting survival horror game. So yeah, definitely keep it in the books. Next one. The Beast Inside. Funny thing about this game, every time I try to like search for it, because I was doing a video on it back in the day, or I was going to make a video on it back in the day, and every time I tried to search for new information, I always typed in The Beast Within, and it always came up with this book and a movie and stuff like that. But then I was like, oh, where is this game gone? Did they just like delete all the posts to this game? and then I realised I was like, oh no, it's called The Beast Inside. And to be honest, I think I prefer the name The Beast Within, but probably due to like copyright reasons they couldn't get The Beast Within, so they're like, Beast Inside, next best thing. Nevertheless, The Beast Inside is a cool blend of like Amnesia and BT, but the thing is, it's not actually like a walking simulator. In this game, you jump between two characters, Adam, whose story is set during the time of the Cold War, and is sent out to an old house to be safe from any threats while he deciphers codes for the US. And then Nicholas, who is set in the midst of the American Civil War in the exact same location. As Adam, he explored the house with Amnesia-style gameplay, wandering through with a wee candle, trying to evade enemies and solve physics-based puzzles. Then as Nicholas, it is more survival horror-y, with combat being introduced as Nicholas uses a revolver and wanders around the house. The game looks very cool, I must admit. Like, it was, like I said, I was originally going to make a video on it back in the day, but I don't know, I wasn't really, it was like during a time where I'm still trying to get used to like writing scripts for videos. And so, when I write it, I just kind of got sick and tired of it, and I didn't do a video on it. But I still actually got the document loaded up there, so I might go back and do like an in-depth video on the game closer to its release date. But yeah, the game looks very cool. I'm glad they have combat, because many games nowadays, like I said, like PT clones and everything, they're just really walking simulators. It's like, oh yes, there is the monster. Go and hide. It's like, I get you want to have the whole helplessness and you're defenseless and all that, but it just gets boring after a while. Like, it does become really boring, running and running and running and running. And that's one of the things with Outlast 2, that was the main problem, is that it was just endless running away from things. And that's what I really like about Resident Evil 7, actually. Resident Evil 7 got it great, where it's like, you can fight back against these people, but you're only doing like a little tiny dent in into that character, or into that enemy, I mean. So yeah, I'm glad The Beast Within is taking, or Beast Within. So I'm glad The Beast Inside is going more like a Resident Evil 7 kind of approach, where it's like you have a gun. I'm guessing there's going to be limited ammo in there as well, because it is like the American Civil War, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, and you have a revolver, so yeah. It's going to be intense, I actually can't wait for it, so yeah. Expect The Beast Inside to be released in the first quarter of 2019, and expect a video on it by me closer to its release date. And again, on to the next one. Visage. Or PT2 if you like to call it either. Visage is basically an expanded upon PT game. The game even starts like the exact same way as the Silent Hills demo as well. But anyway, Visage is a psychological horror game where you explore an ever-changing house of realistic graphics. I'm not gonna lie and say the game doesn't look cool, because it actually does, but it's PT. It's like, I like PT, don't get me wrong, but there's enough PT. And many people are trying to do PT. Let's just tone it down on the PT clones, okay? You play as an unnamed protagonist yet again as you explore the haunted house that has a terrible past, with families being murdered, people becoming insane, and other grisly things happening. Gameplay wise, you are defenseless against the ghosts of the house, as there is no weapons. Only a lighter and a flashing camera at certain points. The main gameplay aspect, though, is maintaining your sanity at any cost. You can do this by staying in the light as much as possible, by repairing bulbs, lighting candles, and also downing pills. Yes, there is pills in this game and it encourages it. By the way, as much as I make fun of these kind of games, like Visage and Inflection, I do genuinely enjoy them, I do genuinely like them, and I do think they are quite necessary in like the horror genre, but the problem is with them is that people usually watch Let's Players play it, and these games are probably more catered to Let's Players and all that as well. And for me, I like playing these games when I'm by myself, when I'm indoors, and I'm like truly immersed in the experience. And it is just absolutely crazy, because I played this game Home Sweet Home, and I streamed it, and I didn't really get quite like into it because obviously I had to pay attention to the chat and all that, but then afterwards, once I finished that stream, I continued playing it, I got really immersed in that game, and I was horrified. I was creeped out to fucking, oh, no extent. So if you do really want to get scared on Halloween night, I suggest checking out Visage on Steam Early Access, because it is a fun time, and it's only, what, 20 quid? And on to the final game of tonight. If you thought I was like counting down, like, oh yeah, let's rate these games from bad to good, well, you are terribly wrong, because I am not hyping up the very last game to be a very good game. The last game of tonight is S.O.N, which is a survival horror game with aliens, I think. Could be aliens, or it could be demons. I can't tell. The game is set in modern day as you play Robert Alderson, a father who is searching for his missing son Jay, who disappeared deep in the Pennsylvania woods. The footage you see in the trailers is actually a tape which was found presumably by Robert of Dylan Schoss, another father who went into the woods to search for his missing daughter. S.O.N promises to be like an epic psychological horror game, which has yet to be seen, because all I can see is like a haunted house simulator game with a VHS overlay on top. It's definitely a game that I'm interested in, don't get me wrong, because it does have elements of like a found footage alien movie, like Alien Abduction, what was it called? Incident at Lake thing? Incident in Lake County, yeah. Which is actually pretty spooky, by the way. I used to watch that when I was younger, I was fucking freaked out. But yeah, from what I believe the trailers are actually telling us, it's actually demons. Because like, when you're watching the trailer, you do see like figures, and you see like enemy figures and stuff like that. And I still can't tell if they're aliens or demons. I'm going to presume they're demons. If they're demons, that makes this game a lot less interesting. By the way, it just does. Like, at least to me anyway, it doesn't really look that interesting. It's like, it is just walking through woods, VHS. That's the only really unique thing about this, is the VHS thing. But yeah, since it is demons, it's just boring. It really is. It's really boring. What this genre needs is a good alien abduction survival horror game. I think that'd be brilliant. Imagine it's like you wake up during the night, or you don't wake up during the night. You go and search for a missing person at a derelict mansion, and you start to uncover an alien abduction mystery, because there's leftover aliens there that you either have to try and avoid or try and attack. See, that's a fucking good game right there. I'm going to take notes doing that shit. So that's that for this Halloween special of a new survival horror. Did you guys enjoy it? Are you going to check out the games that I just listed off there? Please let me know down in the comments below. And before I head off, I would love to thank my brilliant patrons, Simon609, Kendo Gunshop, Devil, and Proxy1 for supporting this video and just supporting the channel in general. You guys are great, thank you so much. And if you haven't checked out my Patreon, please go check it out, because I'm going to be doing updates on Vault Experiments. You also get 1 week early access for Vault Experiments, and if you don't know what Vault if you don't know what Vault Experiments is, it's my upcoming machinima show based on Fallout. So yeah, definitely wait on that, because I'm going to be doing a video on that very soon. And also have like a couple exclusive videos I'm currently working on for it, and I already have one out for it, so yeah. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, and I shall see you later. Have a fun Halloween night, and stay safe as well. See you later.